The sun hung like a molten orb above the jagged horizon, its heat pressing against my skin until it felt as if the very molecules of the air were trying to burn me from the inside out. I didn't dare move closer, yet every fiber of me screamed to do something, anything to save her. Skye. My heart twisted at the sight. Her luminous, green-tinged skin glimmered under the unforgiving sun, and thick ropes cut into her slender arms, binding her to the jagged rock like some cruel sculpture. I had never imagined I would find an alien trapped like this, in the middle of a forsaken desert on the edge of our colonized sector. Yet here she was, trembling, fragile, yet emanating an otherworldly strength that defied her chains. Her violet eyes met mine, wide with fear, but also hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, I could be the one to change everything. My name is Harsh. Once a tech engineer turned reluctant space explorer, I had always believed the galaxy held mysteries I could catalog, analyze, and understand. But staring at Skye, I realized that some enigmas weren't meant for data sheets or experiments. They demanded instinct, courage, and heart. The desert floor beneath my boots cracked with heat, sending tiny plumes of dust into the air. I scanned the horizon. There was no one. No patrol drones. No hostile scavengers. Just me, Skye, and the relentless sun. My pulse raced. I could feel the weight of this moment, knowing that a single mistake could cost her life, or mine. I crouched, careful not to startle her. "Skye," I whispered, my voice trembling with a mix of fear and determination. "I'm here. I'm going to help you." Her lips quivered. You're human," she said, her voice barely audible, but somehow it cut through the heat like a blade. Why would you risk yourself for me?" I swallowed hard, my throat dry. "Because no one deserves to be left like this. Not here. Not ever." Her gaze softened for a brief moment, and I saw the weight of countless lonely birthdays, the burden of isolation on a world not her own, mirrored in those eyes. And then, the ropes tightened slightly. A sudden shiver ran through her body as the wind shifted, carrying the faint scent of something metallic. Drones. My heart stopped. I had thought we were alone, but shadows moved along the rocks, almost imperceptible against the sun-bleached stone. Scanners embedded in my wrist device beeped urgently. Incoming surveillance drones, their sleek, dark frames glinting with solar panels, silently tracking our every move. Skye's eyes widened in terror. They'll see you! Run!" "No," I said, my jaw set. "I'm not leaving you." The heat blurred the horizon, but I could see the faint shimmer of movement, tiny mechanical wings catching the sun. They were fast, designed for stealth, and I knew there was no way I could outrun them without a plan. I had seconds to think. I tore a strip of my jacket, gripping it tightly. If I could distract the drones long enough, maybe I could reach her and cut the ropes. I had seen these security drones before in restricted zones. Metallic eyes, laser sensors, lethal precision. A misstep, and either of us wouldn't survive. Skye's hands trembled against the ropes. "Harsh! They're coming! I'm so scared!" I forced a smile I didn't feel. "Trust me. You're stronger than you think. I've got you." Sweat burned my eyes as I lunged, kicking up sand to obscure the drones' sensors. My hands found the rough fibers of the ropes. They were old but strong, probably scavenged from some industrial stockpile. Every tug felt like a battle, my muscles screaming, my heart hammering in rhythm with the mechanical buzz approaching faster and faster. Then I felt it, the first zap of energy from one of the drone's taser-like emitters. Pain shot through my shoulder, and I staggered, barely maintaining my grip. Skye gasped, her violet eyes widening in terror. "Harsh!" she screamed. I gritted my teeth, ignoring the pain. I couldn't let this end here. One final heave and the ropes began to fray under the strain. The sun above us seemed to intensify, turning the rock beneath her into a furnace. And then, from the corner of my eye, I saw it. A shadow larger than the drones, gliding silently over the dunes. Its shape, humanoid, but impossibly tall. Arms elongated, glinting with some sort of alien alloy, eyes glowing with an unnatural orange hue. I froze. Skye's gasp pierced the tension. Harsh! What is that? Before I could respond, the shadow moved faster, descending upon us like a predator. Drones scattered, unable to compete with its speed. I barely managed to throw the last knot of rope to the ground as Skye's slender frame collapsed into my arms. Hold on, I shouted. But even as relief began to wash over me, a terrible realization struck. This wasn't just a rescue mission anymore. Whatever that shadow was, it knew exactly where we were, and it wasn't here to negotiate. The ground trembled beneath its steps. A voice, metallic and distorted, echoed from the creature, though its lips didn't move. Fugitive, do not resist. Skye is property of the Zenith Authority. I tightened my hold around her. My mind raced. How had they tracked her here? And more importantly, what were they planning? Her eyes met mine, wide with terror, but also a spark of trust. Harsh, promise me. Promise me you won't let them take me. I nodded, every instinct screaming danger, every fiber of my being ready for a fight I wasn't sure we could win. I swear, I'll protect you. No matter what, the shadow descended fully, and the drones circled like vultures, red sensors glowing. My heart thudded painfully in my chest. And then, just as I braced for impact, a sudden, deafening pulse of energy radiated from the shadow, knocking us both backward across the scorching rock. Skye screamed, and I felt the sting of the sun on my skin fade into darkness as the world tilted violently around me. And then, silence. Except for one thing, the faint, mechanical hiss of the drone. A low, resonant hum began to vibrate through the rock. Something was coming, something bigger, smarter, and far more dangerous than anything I'd ever faced, and it was heading straight for us. The pulse of the shadow's energy had left me disoriented, sprawled across the scorching rock. Skye clung to me, her delicate arms wrapping around my chest, trembling, yet clinging with a strange determination that both terrified and awed me. The desert's harsh sunlight now felt muted, dulled by the sheer force of the mechanical presence looming above us. I pushed myself up, ignoring the ache in my muscles. My wrist scanner beeped frantically. Drones, yes, but also a signal I didn't recognize. Encrypted, alien, and unmistakably tied to the Zenith Authority. That shadow wasn't just some random predator. It was a sentinel, an elite enforcer designed to retrieve fugitive subjects like Skye, and I suddenly understood the stakes. Harsh, Skye whispered, her voice barely audible over the hum of the drones. They call me property. Her words faltered as her violet eyes darted toward the horizon, fear and memory colliding in a storm I couldn't yet decipher. I clenched my jaw, scanning the dunes. Skye, I need you to stay calm. Can you tell me why they're after you? Her gaze dropped, tracing patterns in the sand as though she feared even speaking aloud. I escaped. I wasn't supposed to be free. They experimented on us, on me. I remember flashes, the lab, the cold, the machines, voices calling my designation, Zenith X-17. A shiver ran through me. Zenith Authority. I had heard rumors, whispered on the fringe colonies, stories of humans and aliens alike stolen for experiments in cybernetic evolution, AI integration, and forced digital immortality. But Skye, she was different. Something about her didn't fit the regular narrative. She wasn't just a test subject. She was unique. The shadow approached again, more cautiously this time, scanning for movement. Its glowing eyes analyzed every step, every twitch. I grabbed Skye's hand and whispered, "We need to move." Now we sprinted across the dunes, sand flying beneath our boots. The drones followed, their sensors red, precise, lethal. Skye stumbled once, and I caught her mid-fall. Her face was flushed, sweat and dust streaking her green-tinged skin. For a moment, vulnerability overwhelmed the strength I had glimpsed in her earlier. And then she whispered, almost inaudible, I thought no one would ever care. Not even a human." The weight of her words hit me like a meteor strike. In the chaos of the galaxy, Wars, betrayals, colonization. I had never imagined this fragile alien being could place such trust in me. But before I could respond, a new sound cut through the air. The hiss of metal scraping against rock, closer than before. From behind a dune, a figure emerged. Not mechanical, but human. Tall, cloaked in a dark fabric that shimmered under the sun, helmet reflecting the horizon. Her hand rested on a weapon, sleek, alien-engineered, glowing faintly. "Harsh," she said, voice cold, but with an unmistakable edge of authority. "Step away from the alien." Skye froze, eyes wide. "No, she's my only chance." I glanced at her, then back at the stranger. "Who are you?" "Commander Lyris," she said sharply. "Zenith Authority. And you, human, have no idea what you're meddling with." My stomach churned. "I'm not meddling. I'm saving her. You're the ones who bound her, experimented on her, and left her in the sun like she wasn't even alive." Lyris tilted her head, analyzing me. Then with a flick of her wrist, the drones flared, creating a barrier of lethal energy around her. Skye gasped, her hands pressed against the invisible wall. "Run if you can," Lyris said, her voice carrying an unnatural calm. "But you won't. The Zenith doesn't let its property escape." A sudden surge of adrenaline pushed me forward. I grabbed Skye's hand and darted toward a narrow canyon between jagged rocks. The drones pursued, but the sun's reflection off the canyon walls gave us cover. I could feel Skye's pulse against mine. Fast, erratic, but alive, hopeful. Then came the first revelation that shook me to the core. Skye's hands began to glow faintly. A neon blue aura traced her veins, pulsing with a rhythm that matched her heartbeat. Her eyes widened in shock. I can't control it," she shouted. It's their tech. It's inside me." Her words hit like a thunderclap. Skye wasn't just a fugitive. She had been infused with alien cybernetics, AI protocols, and enhancements we couldn't comprehend. Whatever Zenith had done, she was no longer just an experiment. She was a weapon. The canyon narrowed, and I slammed into a wall, trying to find footing as Skye's aura flared brighter, projecting a force that pushed the drones backward. Sparks and heat filled the air as energy collided, melting sand and stone alike. But before we could catch our breath, Lyris appeared at the canyon's mouth, her weapon now glowing a menacing crimson. She spoke, voice amplified by tech embedded in her suit. "You cannot hide her, Harsh. She belongs to us. And you." Her gaze pierced me. "Will either return her willingly or die trying." Skye grabbed my arm, trembling but resolute. We have to keep moving. I can help you fight them, but you have to trust me." I swallowed, heart hammering. I trust you, Skye." Always then, in a moment that froze my blood, the ground beneath us quaked violently. A massive fissure ripped open, swallowing part of the canyon. Dust and debris filled the air, cutting visibility to nearly zero. Skye stumbled, and I caught her just in time. Through the dust, I saw it, something rising from the depths of the canyon, something alive, metallic, and enormous. It wasn't a drone. It wasn't human. It was ancient, and it recognized Skye. Her violet eyes widened in terror. It knows me." I gritted my teeth, adrenaline and fear intertwining. "Skye, what is it?" But before she could answer, a deafening roar erupted from the fissure, shaking the canyon walls, throwing us both off balance. The roar, it wasn't just loud. It was intelligent, deliberate, and aimed at her. And then, in the heart of the dust storm, I glimpsed the truth. This creature was her creation, her captor, and perhaps the key to everything Zenith had done to her. The massive being surged upward from the canyon, its eyes glowing the same violet as Skye's. And as it let out another roar, I realized one terrible truth. Skye was not just a victim. She was the Zenith's ultimate weapon, and I had just become its target. Dust choked the canyon as the colossal figure surged from the fissure. Its metallic frame gleamed, jagged and alive, yet eerily organic, limbs ending in claw-like appendages, eyes glowing the same violet hue as Skye's. She stumbled, gripping my arm, her voice trembling. They, they made me this way, she whispered, eyes wide with fear and anger. I'm not fully me. Not anymore, I swallowed hard. Then we fix that. Together. Whatever it takes. But the creature didn't hesitate. It lunged, the force of its step sending rocks skittering across the canyon floor. Skye flinched, her aura flaring, and the energy from her veins shot outward like arcs of lightning. The metallic titan recoiled slightly, surprised by her sudden surge. Harsh, I don't know how long I can control it, she cried, panic in her voice. Then we'll learn. Now, I shouted, diving beside her. The heat from her aura was intense, almost unbearable, but I stayed close, letting instinct guide me. The creature's roar echoed off the canyon walls, a sound of pure intelligence and malice. It advanced, sensing Skye's connection, and I realized something terrifying. It wasn't acting mindlessly. It was responding to her, tethered to her mind in ways I didn't understand. Skye's eyes flickered with pain, then resolve. They implanted a command in me, but I think I can override it. Help me focus. I gritted my teeth, nodding. Focus on me. I'm right here. Her aura intensified, blinding, pulsing, and suddenly a shockwave erupted from her body. The metallic titan stumbled backward, cracking stone beneath its weight. Dust and debris hung in the air like sparks from some celestial forge. For a moment, relief. But then a voice sliced through the chaos, cold, mechanical, and terrifying. Skye, you cannot resist your destiny. I froze. The voice, it came from inside her head. Alien, digitized, omnipresent. Skye gasped, clutching her temples. They're still inside me, she whispered. The zenith. They're controlling part of me. Her hands glowed brighter, energy cascading around her like a living storm. I have to fight it, but I can't do it alone. I tightened my grip on her arm. Then we do it together. I trust you, Skye, and you. Trust me. Her violet eyes locked onto mine, a fleeting moment of vulnerability and raw emotion, before she screamed, and the energy erupted again, this time more controlled. Sparks leaped from the titan to the walls, fragments of stone flying like shrapnel. It roared, staggering, but remained alive, its glowing eyes burning with intelligence. Then the canyon shook violently. From above, the shadow of Lyris appeared, drones circling her in a precise formation. Give up, human. The alien is property of the Zenith. Her voice rang, amplified by tech embedded in her suit. I glared at her, every muscle tensed. She's not property, I shouted, voice cracking with rage. She's alive. She's free, and I will not let you take her. Skye's aura pulsed, reacting to my anger, to the emotion fueling her. The metallic titan's roars escalated in panic, confused by the sudden surge of energy. The drone's sensors blinked erratically, unable to process the chaos. Then, without warning, Skye's energy expanded outward, forming a barrier that knocked drones into the canyon walls. Lyris shouted, firing pulses that collided with the invisible shield, sparks exploding in brilliant, blinding flashes. Skye looked at me, eyes burning violet. Harsh, I think I can break the connection. I just need to touch it, to merge with it for a moment. I nodded, heart pounding. Do it! I'm here. She ran forward, energy rippling from her body like living lightning. The metallic titan surged to intercept her, but at the last moment, she leapt, connecting her hands to its armored chest. A pulse of pure violet light engulfed both, the ground beneath shaking violently. I felt her energy slam into mine, a storm of emotion, pain, and power I could barely comprehend. Memories, not hers, but the Zenith's, flashed before my eyes. Experiments, control protocols, the lab, endless corridors of white steel, and the cruel faces of scientists she once trusted. Then, silence. Skye fell into my arms, breathing heavily, her aura dimming but still flickering faintly. The metallic titan collapsed beside us, inert, but not destroyed. Something inside it had changed. Something inside her had changed. She looked up at me, tears streaking her luminous face. I think I'm free. For now, I pulled her close. You're safe. I've got you. No one touches you again. But even as relief flooded us, a faint hum vibrated through the canyon floor. My wrist scanner beeped violently. Dozens of new drones were approaching. Faster, smarter, more heavily armed. And above us, a massive spacecraft descended, casting a shadow that swallowed the canyon in darkness. Skye's hand gripped mine tightly. Harsh! That's the real Zenith force. The one that controls the authority. They know I'm here, and they won't stop until they have me back. I swallowed hard, adrenaline coursing through my veins. Then we fight. Whatever it takes, her violet eyes met mine, fierce yet vulnerable. Promise me, we survive this, together. I nodded, determination burning in my chest. I swear it. No matter what, the shadow of the ship blocked the sun completely, a mechanical leviathan of war, descending toward us. And in that moment I realized, this battle was only the beginning. Zenith had unleashed everything they had, and the fight for Skye's freedom and our lives was about to become a war. The ship's hatch opened, and from it emerged dozens of armored soldiers, each one equipped with advanced cybernetic implants designed to neutralize Skye's abilities. At their forefront, Commander Lyris, holding a device pulsing with violet energy, the same energy that had once enslaved Skye. Hand her over, or die, she commanded. The shadow of the massive Zenith ship loomed over the canyon like a mechanical sun, its hull shimmering with dark alloys that reflected the scorching desert light. Drones swarmed the air in precise formations, sensors tracking our every movement, while Lyris stood at the forefront, her weapon pulsing with violet energy, the same signature that had once controlled Skye. Skye pressed herself against me, trembling but determined. Harsh. I can feel them trying to override me again. If they succeed, I won't just be their property. I'll be their weapon against you. I gritted my teeth. Then we make sure that doesn't happen. We fight. We survive. With a low hum, Skye's aura began to flare, cascading like living lightning across the canyon walls. I could see the energy responding to my presence, growing stronger, brighter. It was as if she drew strength from my determination, my refusal to let her be controlled. The first wave of drones attacked. They moved like a coordinated swarm, laser sensors cutting through the dust, targeting Skye with lethal precision. I grabbed a fallen rock and hurled it, shattering one drone midair. Sparks rained down, but more kept coming. Skye extended her hands, sending arcs of violet energy shooting out, frying circuits and bending metal like it was clay. But Lyris was not idle. She raised the device pulsing with Skye's energy signature, and a beam shot forward, targeting Skye's chest. The violet aura flickered violently, and for a second, fear clouded her eyes. Harsh! I can't hold it, she cried. I leapt forward, intercepting her body with mine. My arms wrapped around her as I shouted, Trust me! Fight it with me! I'm here! Skye inhaled sharply, and her aura surged, rebounding the violet beam back toward Lyris. The commander staggered, momentarily stunned, but her expression hardened. She raised her weapon again, muttering something I couldn't hear over the roar of the wind and energy pulses. I realized then that Lyris wasn't just a soldier, she was a master tactician, and we were dangerously outnumbered. My mind raced. If we wanted to survive, we couldn't just fight. They would anticipate every move. Skye, I said urgently, we need to lure them into the canyon center. I can use the rock formations to create a trap, and your energy can amplify it. Her eyes lit with comprehension. Yes, but it will hurt. It might hurt me too. I held her hands. I won't let anything happen to you. We do this together, we ran, dodging drones and energy pulses, weaving between jagged rocks and narrow passes. I noticed the canyon walls had natural crevices and channels. If we could collapse a section, the energy from Skye's aura would reflect, trapping the drones and giving us the advantage. Now, Skye, focus all your energy on me, I yelled, placing my hands against hers. She hesitated, eyes flicking with pain and fear, but nodded. Violet light exploded outward, and the canyon walls trembled. Dust, sand, and stone levitated as energy arcs reflected across the canyon, creating a dazzling, chaotic storm. The drones surged forward, sensors overwhelmed by the sudden violent pulses. Sparks ignited, metal twisted, and several drones collapsed under the force. But Lyris was not finished. She fired another concentrated beam, slicing through the dust storm, heading straight for Skye. I grabbed a jagged boulder and hurled it at the beam, deflecting it just enough to glance off the canyon wall. Skye's aura flared once more, repelling another wave of drones with arcs of energy that tore the canyon apart. Amid the chaos, a voice resonated from Skye's mind. The Zenith's internal protocol trying to regain control. It was sharp, cold, and commanding. "Submit! Obey! You belong!" Skye screamed, clutching her head, tears streaming down her glowing face. "No! I'm not yours! I'm me!" Her energy exploded outward in a brilliant pulse, and I felt the ground shake under my feet. The drones faltered. Lyris staggered backward, shielding her eyes, and for the first time, I saw fear in her posture. But then the real horror appeared. From beneath the canyon, something enormous rose. A second, more advanced metallic titan, larger than the first, with limbs bristling with weapons. Its eyes glowed violet, and it let out a deep, resonant roar. It wasn't attacking indiscriminately. It was targeting Skye, responding to her presence, and coordinating with the Zenith forces above. Skye's hand gripped mine. "Harsh. It's part of them. It's connected to me. And it's coming for me." I swallowed hard. "Then we face it. Together." She nodded and her aura surged brighter than ever, energy arcs whipping like lightning bolts around her. The metallic titan lunged, claws descending, while Lyris and her drones pressed the attack from above. I ran beside Skye, dodging debris, firing improvised weapons, and guiding her through the canyon as the energy storm engulfed us. Her violet aura clashed with the titan's armored frame, sparks and molten metal flying in every direction. The sheer heat singed my skin, but I stayed close, feeling her strength flowing into me. For a moment, it seemed like we might survive. Skye's energy overwhelmed the titan, throwing it backward. But then a fissure opened beneath our feet, and I realized the canyon itself was beginning to collapse under the combined force of her aura and the battle above. Skye looked at me, fear and resolve mingling in her eyes. "Harsh. We can't stop now. If we fall, everything ends here." I tightened my grip, determination burning brighter than fear. "We don't fall. We survive." Together then, as the canyon trembled violently, Skye's violet aura expanded, brighter than the sun, and a deep, resonant hum echoed through the canyon. And in that instant, I realized something terrifying. The Titan wasn't alone. From the shadows of the canyon, dozens more were rising, mechanical, enormous, and responding to Skye's presence. Cliffhanger. Skye's hands glowed brighter, eyes wide with shock. "Harsh! They're multiplying, I think. I'm not just fighting them, I'm waking them." The night sky over Arendor wasn't black anymore. It pulsed with glowing crimson veins like a wounded heart bleeding into space. Sirens screamed through the valley, wind howled over the scorched plains, and Skye's breath fogged against the icy metal of the airship's hull as we hovered over the chaos below. I stood beside her, hand gripping the rail, watching the city burn. Whole sectors were collapsing beneath enemy artillery fire. The Titan war machines weren't just attacking. They were carving a message into the world. "They want us to watch," Skye whispered, her voice trembling with a rage that sounded far too quiet. I turned to her. The neon veins of her alien skin glimmered faintly beneath the cold moonlight, soft, beautiful, and terrifying all at once. She wasn't just a survivor anymore. She was becoming a storm. "We'll end this," I said. Her golden eyes flicked toward me, searching, doubting. "You keep saying that, but do you really know what they're capable of?" Before I could answer, a violent shockwave rattled the airship. Lights flickered. The captain's voice burst through the intercom. "Harsh, Skye, get to the bay. The Vanguard Council is here, and they're asking for her. Her. Skye. I saw the flash of fear in her eyes before she masked it behind steel. The chamber was shaped like a circle of glass and fire, a transparent dome suspended above the battlefield. Inside, the Vanguard Council waited like silent predators. The leader, Chancellor Kyvan, leaned forward with his silver crown gleaming. "You've hidden the truth from us for too long, Skye." She didn't flinch. "Truth? Or the lies you fed the people?" Kyvan slammed a fist on the glowing table. "Your kind started this war. Your bloodline carries the Titan code. And now, they're coming for you." I stepped forward. "She saved your soldiers." She bled for this colony, but Kyvan's icy blue eyes cut through me. "She's not one of us." In that instant, I understood. This wasn't about war strategy. This was betrayal. Kyvan tapped a panel. A hologram ignited between us. A recording. I saw a lab. A girl strapped to a metal frame. Skye. Tubes coiling into her spine. Her screams echoing like metal scraping bone. "She was built to control them," Kyvan said. "The Titan's answer to her genetic signature." Whether she knows it or not, my lungs froze. Skye stared at the image in horror, whispering, "No, no. I don't remember this." Her fingers clenched. Her veins lit brighter, glowing like molten fire. "They used me. They created you," Kyvan corrected. "And now," he said, voice dripping with venom, "we will hand you over to the Titans before they destroy everything." Guards moved forward. I reached for my blaster, but Skye's hand caught mine. Her touch burned like a sun flare. "Don't," she whispered. "I won't let you die for me." Her eyes shimmered, half fury, half heartbreak. "Skye, listen to me." But she stepped forward, arms raised. "I'll go." "If it keeps you alive," I wanted to scream. Instead, I watched as they bound her wrists with neural cuffs, the same kind used on war criminals. The sky cracked with thunder as they dragged her toward the transport gate. Suddenly, a deafening roar split the night. The entire chamber shook violently. Glass shattered in a storm of shards as a Titan ship broke through the defense field like a beast tearing into flesh. Alarms exploded. Red lights danced across the chamber. Kyvan shouted orders. Soldiers fell. And through the wreckage, a colossal shadow stepped into the room, its single burning eye fixed on Skye. "Target acquired," the machine growled in a deep mechanical tone. Skye froze, the machine's voice pulling something ancient from inside her. Her neural cuffs flickered, then snapped. "Skye!" I whispered, stepping closer. Her voice trembled, but it wasn't fear anymore. "I remember everything." The Titan bent one massive knee, not in attack, in obedience. The council stared in horror, and Skye turned slowly, eyes blazing like a dying sun. "They don't control me anymore," she said. "I control them." The Titan raised its massive arm and aimed at the council. Kyvan's scream was drowned out by the charge-up hum of planetary-level energy. And then, the world exploded into blinding white light. The blast that ended the council meeting still echoed in the air. The walls were cracked, smoke rolled across the floor, and the smell of burnt circuits spread like a silent warning. I forced myself to stand straight, chest heaving, my ears ringing from the explosion. Skye was at the center of it all. She wasn't hiding anymore. Her golden veins glowed steadily beneath her skin, and the massive Titan behind her stood like a shadow that belonged only to her. Soldiers, council members, and guards froze where they were. No one moved. No one dared to. "Skye," I whispered, not because I feared her, but because something inside me knew everything had changed. She turned slowly. Her voice was calm, strong, and steady. "It's over, Harsh. They can't cage me anymore." Kyvan's voice cracked the silence. He was on the floor, one hand pressed against his bleeding forehead, eyes locked on Skye with a mix of hate and fear. "You think this makes you powerful? You're not one of us. You're the reason Titans are here." Skye didn't step back. She didn't even blink. "No, I'm the reason we're still alive. They listened to me. Not to you," Kyvan let out a harsh laugh. "Then you're more dangerous than all of them combined." The soldiers aimed their rifles. I could hear the sound of mechanical locks clicking into place. The Titan moved instantly, its massive metal arm lowering in front of Skye like a shield. The floor shook under its weight. "Put the guns down," I shouted. "If you shoot, None of you will survive this. No one answered. Their eyes shifted from Skye to the Titan, fear spreading like fire. They had seen the machine tear through steel minutes ago. I stepped closer to Skye. Don't do anything yet. Let me handle this. She glanced at me. Her voice softened, but her hands were still clenched. Harsh. I can feel everything. Their weapons, the Titans, the city. It's like I'm connected to all of it. Then use it to control the fight, I said. Not destroy everything. Commander Vaylor slammed his hand on a wrist console. A barrier of blue light rose around the chamber. Drones descended from the ceiling, spinning into formation. Their targeting lasers landed on Skye's chest, one by one. Caven pointed toward her. She's not our ally. She's their key. Fire! The drones opened fire, but the bullets never reached her. Skye raised her hand. The sound of every bullet freezing midair echoed like a sharp crack. Sparks flickered, metal crumpled. Drones collapsed to the ground like broken toys. The soldiers stepped back, panic in their eyes. Caven screamed, "You see? She's not human!" I turned toward him. She's the only reason we're still breathing. Skye took one step forward. Every light in the room flickered. The Titan behind her mirrored her movement perfectly. Its glowing core pulsed in sync with the beat of her heart. I could feel the air change. She looked straight at Caven. You made me. You experimented on me. You turned me into this. Now you'll listen, Caven spat on the ground. We did what we had to do. You were never supposed to survive. Her jaw tightened. Well, I did. For the first time, I saw Caven take a step back. His voice lost its strength. He wasn't facing a weapon anymore. He was facing someone who wasn't afraid. Outside the cracked glass walls, the sky shifted. Titan ships floated in formation, hundreds of them, their glowing red cores turning toward the chamber. They weren't attacking. They were waiting. Skye didn't look up. She didn't have to. They can hear me, she said quietly. I moved closer. Then tell them to stop. She shook her head slowly. This isn't just about stopping them. They're not here to destroy. They're here because of me. I am the key that woke them up, the council members murmured nervously, some clutching their sides, others praying under their breath. Caven shouted, Then you'll end us all! Skye's gaze hardened. No, I'll end you if you try to stop me. Vaylor charged at her with an energy blade. The moment he moved, the Titan roared. A shock wave ripped through the room. The blade shattered before it even reached her. He was thrown across the chamber, hitting the wall with a dull thud. Skye didn't even lift a finger. I caught her wrist gently. Don't lose yourself. You're not like them. She looked at me. Really looked. Harsh. I don't even know who I am anymore. You're the one who saved me, I said. That's enough for me to trust you. Her eyes softened for just a second, and then the Titan's head tilted upward as if hearing something from the sky. An alarm blared outside. Red lights filled the chamber. One of the council officers shouted from the control panel, The Titan fleet is shifting formation. They're not just above the city anymore. They're surrounding the colony. Everyone froze. Caven whispered, She's calling them. I shook my head. No, they're already here. Skye raised both hands slowly. The Titan behind her mirrored the movement. Outside, the entire fleet responded at once, glowing brighter. She said quietly, They're not here to kill us, but if anyone tries to hurt me again, this colony is done. Caven fell to his knees, realizing there was nothing left to control. The council had lost its power. The soldiers lowered their weapons one by one. Fear filled the room. Skye stood in the middle, calm, breathing deeply. No more chains around her wrists, no fear in her eyes. She looked at me. This ends now. My way. The Titan let out a deep metallic roar. The floor trembled under my feet. Outside, the fleet descended lower, surrounding the city like a wall of steel. No one moved. No one dared to. And in that moment, everyone understood. Skye was no longer a captive. She was in command. Follow me, she said, her voice echoing through the chamber, or get out of my way. The Titan core flared like a burning star, and the sky above us shook. The sky was no longer silent. Titan ships hovered above the colony like giant beasts ready to strike. Their glowing cores painted everything red. Streets below were empty. Buildings shook from the sound of their engines. Inside the council chamber, no one spoke. Everyone just stared at Skye. The fear that once belonged to the Titans had shifted to her. She stood at the center, breathing slowly, her veins glowing bright gold. I stepped closer to her. Skye, whatever happens next, it's your call. They're listening to you. She didn't look at me. Her eyes were locked on the sky. For the first time in my life, they're not controlling me. I'm controlling them. Caven dragged himself up, leaning on a broken chair. His voice cracked, but he still had that dangerous pride. Do you really think you can lead them? You're one girl against the whole universe. Skye turned her head, calm but sharp. No, I'm one girl with an army that listens to me. His face twisted in anger. Then you'll burn with them. Then I'll burn for them, she replied. Outside, the Titan fleet began to shift position, their formation tightening. Alarms echoed through the city. The ground forces of the colony prepared their weapons, but their hands shook. No one was ready to fight an enemy that obeyed someone standing right in front of them. Commander Vaylor shouted from the control deck, "If she gives one wrong command, we're all dead." I turned to him. Then maybe it's time you trust her instead of trying to kill her. The Titan behind Skye stepped forward, its movements perfectly in sync with her breathing. Its core pulsed brighter with every heartbeat. She took a step toward the shattered window. The wind hit her face, carrying the heat of the engines above. All my life, she said, I was their experiment. I lived in cages, in shadows, waiting to be used. But not anymore. Her voice echoed through the room. Everyone could hear the strength in it. She raised her right hand. The entire Titan fleet stopped moving. Engines quieted. Lights shifted from red to white. The silence outside became heavier than the noise before it. They're waiting, she whispered. Caven, desperate, pulled a small pulse detonator from his belt. Then let's end it before it begins. I reacted before he could press it. I rushed him, grabbing his wrist and slamming it against the wall. The detonator dropped and rolled across the floor. Caven shouted, "You don't understand!" She's not saving us. She's rewriting the world. I tightened my grip. Good. The old one deserves to end. I threw the detonator out the shattered window. It exploded harmlessly in the air. The soldiers didn't stop me this time. They were done following orders. They were watching something bigger unfold. Skye walked past me and stood at the very edge of the chamber. The Titan leaned forward like a guardian. She closed her eyes. The lights around us dimmed. The fleet above responded instantly, spreading out and surrounding the colony like a shield. Not as an army to destroy, but to protect. Caven whispered, "What? What is she doing?" I didn't answer. I could feel it too. She wasn't bringing war. She was building something new. Suddenly, the ground beneath us rumbled again, this time not from her. A foreign signal cut through the air, sharp and cold. The main Titan lifted its head. Another fleet appeared at the edge of the sky, massive warships with black armor. Not hers, not ours. Vaylor's voice cracked. "It's the Dominion fleet. They've found us." Caven's face went pale. "We're finished." I looked at Skye. She wasn't afraid. "They're the ones who made me," she said quietly. "The ones who built the cage." I took her hand. "Then let's break it." Her grip tightened. For a moment, everything around us disappeared. It was just her and me, standing against an army that had shaped her entire life. She raised her left hand high into the air. The Titan behind her let out a deafening roar. The entire fleet of white Titans lit up. Thousands of engines screamed into the night sky as they moved into attack formation. Dominion ships opened fire first. Beams of plasma shot down toward the colony. But before the blast could reach, Skye's fleet intercepted. Giant metal bodies shielding the city with perfect precision. The impact lit up the sky like daylight. The battle had begun. Skye's voice echoed like a command that the machines could feel. No more cages. The Titans attacked in perfect sync, cutting through Dominion ships like knives through paper. Every movement of her hands was answered by 1,000 machines in the sky. The colony soldiers could only watch. This wasn't their war anymore. It was hers. I stayed behind her, ready for anything, but deep down I knew. I wasn't the hero here. She was. Caven whispered almost to himself. We tried to break her, and now she's the one holding the universe by its throat. The sky burned bright. Ships exploded one after another. The Dominion fleet started to fall back, their command center already half destroyed. Skye's breathing grew heavier, her connection with the Titans pushing her limits. I grabbed her shoulders. You're pushing too hard. She shook her head. I have to finish this. She raised her hands one last time. The lead Dominion ship split open in a storm of light. Their fleet scattered. The war was over before it even truly began. The silence that followed felt endless. Titan ships slowly descended. The city lights returned. For the first time since the war began, there was no fear in the air. Skye stepped back, breathing hard, but smiling. It wasn't a smile of power, it was a smile of someone finally free. Caven fell to his knees, speechless. Valor lowered his weapon. What now? Skye turned toward me. Now. We rebuild. Our way, I took her hand again, and this time she didn't pull away. Above us, the Titan fleet hovered silently, waiting for her next command. Not as weapons, as guardians. She looked up at the stars. No more cages. And for the first time, the galaxy felt like it belonged to us.